Hello and welcome to this week's Mystic Message. Happy 2026. So we're in winter. We are in this internal hibernation phase, and this is really setting the stage for spring. Spring is massive. It is potent, it is powerful, and I know there's a lot of astrological stuff that speaks to this as well if you like to see things through that lens. This winter sets the stage, and so as much as I think a lot of us are waiting for spring, whether it's because we're sick of the cold or we're ready for something to feel better or we're tired and we're over it, we need this time. And so a big theme of what is taking place right now collectively is a lot of us, we're giving our power away, and we have a lot of kind of attachments, energetic and otherwise, that are causing our energy, our life force energy, to kind of leave and leak out or get siphoned away from us. And we're already going through a time of massive transformation, which is exhausting and confusing and requires a lot of maybe not external output, but internal output, because we're reflecting and we're doing some of that inner work. We're closing up, tying up loose ends on some of the shadow work that we've been doing, and that's exhausting. In conjunction with these collective shifts and the Earth's shifts. The more our energy is leaking out, the more exhausted we're going to be, and the harder it's going to be to discern and to operate from a place of clarity. A big theme of this year is discernment and regaining that clarity, right? If you're like me or a lot of the people that I've worked with last year, it's like everything got thrown up in the air and everything's confusing and we don't know why or how those pieces are going to land. But we're trusting, we're going with it. And this year is going to bring clarity. However, clarity can get foggy when we don't know how to discern. And it's really difficult to discern when we don't know ourselves and our own energy. And this is why energetic hygiene is one of my biggest passions. And I have many classes on that you can go buy and watch it and, go through at any point. But the big thing coming up are these attachments and kind of how to notice where our power and our energy is getting siphoned. So we can call that back because, here's an example that I love to use. Just a general everyday cord that happens to all of us. No matter who we are, we've had experiences like this. You go to the grocery store, you're feeling fine, right? You woke up on the right side of the bed, you're feeling great. You go to the grocery store, you go through the checkout line, and the cashier, maybe doesn't say anything in particular to you, but, you can tell that their vibe is maybe a little bit lower. Maybe not in a mean way, but just, you're maybe vibrating here and maybe they're here, and you don't really know why. You leave, you don't really think anything of it, you're packing your groceries in your car, and you're feeling a little bit of like a funk, or you get home and you're getting ready, bringing your groceries in and you're just feeling a little bit off and you're like, what happened? Like, how can I switch from this to this? Am I bipolar? Is there something wrong with me? Why is it so hard to maintain this? Well, just that brief interaction, you create this energetic cord with that person, and maybe that person is going through a loss, or they're going through a depression, or they're going through a really challenging time in their lives, and now you're connected to them. And so we don't realize that we're feeling other people all of the time. And this is just one example of, entanglement and energetic cords and connections and attachments in different types of ways. And so energetic hygiene is, the most important thing that you can be doing right now. I have podcasts on that. You can go dive in. But we need to start, discernment needs to level up. We cannot keep operating at the level of discernment that we have been. And you're going to start noticing this. You've started to notice it. A lot of you have started to notice it last year, maybe the years before, just getting stronger and stronger. We're no longer subscribing to the holier than thou guru who's perfectly healed and up on this pedestal and you can't possibly be like them, right? We're not subscribing to that. Just like a lot of people are realizing or feeling like their religions that kind of operate in a hierarchical way maybe aren't resonating fully anymore. So discernment has been starting to increase, but now it's like, I don't want to say do or die because that makes it sound really dramatic. But it kind of feels like that to make the most of this winter time, to kind of be reborn as this kind of phoenix that you're meant to be in spring. Like, we're going through transformation, but this winter time, letting go of what's not you and releasing all of that. So back to that example with the cord with the cashier. Now you're in a funk. And now you might think, well, what did I do wrong? Is there something wrong with me? And you're blaming yourself. And now you're feeling shame, or you're feeling guilt, or you're just feeding that stuff that's not even yours. And so it can be as simple as like imagining the cord and releasing it, making a statement. I release all energetic cords that no longer serve me. Picture yourself with cords attached and just whoosh, 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 do an energetic hygiene, fill your aura with white light. I mean, there's millions, there's countless ways that you can do these types of things. But we need to start being aware and where the energy is leaking out. And we need to take our power back, because that is, when we are in a collective space or a personal space, and right now it's both, where we're starting to step into our power. Up until now, a lot of us have been figuring shit out. Figuring out who I am, doing some deep healing, figuring out what I love and enjoy, letting go of all of the other stuff. And now we're getting ready to really step into our power, to own it, to be seen for it. We're no longer like in the spiritual closet or afraid to own it, right? This is the year to step in. It looks different for everybody, right? But it's time to step into that, and we have to be owning in our power to be able to do that and not get knocked down, because there's a lot of gnarly energies out there, and not to mention just the state of the world, and there's just a lot of darkness that's being uprooted, which is great because it can go away, but once it gets uprooted, it's heavier in the space that we're all existing in, and that's what we're feeling. We're feeling the heaviness of the uprooting, and it feels chaotic, and it's creating, disillusion and fogginess in the clarity that is meant to be coming to you. And so we don't want false clarity. We don't want clarity based in energetic cords or hooks or, just other, entities or parasites or any of these other low frequency energies. So we need to start recognizing those things. So when it comes to emotions, you really want to just feel into, like, are the emotions that I'm feeling truly authentic mine, or is it something else? Is something else trying to get a rise out of me? Is something this is a fine line, because external things do trigger something within us that is true, right? Someone else saying something triggers maybe my confidence issues or whatever, right? Versus external things kind of trying to get a reaction out of you, and then you giving that reaction is giving your power away, and it's creating attachment to that. And a lot of that is, society and the news and the things that are taking place, the lower frequency things that are poke. When you just keep getting poked and then you explode. You hold off and then you explode, and you're exploding at that person, and you're not releasing something deep within you, right? Anger to be released is something deep within you. Anger that is poke the bear, poke. You're just releasing all of the energy that's been poking you. That's different. And so those are the things we kind of want to start to realize, and not let those things in and not give the reaction back. Because when you give that reaction back, all of your energy is now going that way, right? You're trying to get rid of all of the poke. But with that, you're giving your energy away and your power away to that thing. Okay, so starting to discern, and that's a very slight level discernment. So it's tuning into yourself, right? And I'll at the end here, I'll talk about, just ways to kind of tune in and to discern, because something triggering you is different. That is something within you versus poke. And now, and the poke might be the news or the things that you keep seeing on, your social media scroll, and you're just like, I'm so sick of this shit. And bam, right? So there's a lot of external energies kind of, they're trying to claw their way in to kind of take your energy. And not that we want to live in like an ignorant bubble, because I don't necessarily feel like that is the case, but letting it create lower frequency emotions, again, different from stirring up your own, but letting it create lower frequency emotions is a distraction to what you're supposed to be doing, which is the healing and the reflection. And it's taking your energy and siphoning it outwards. The best thing we can do to create change in our world is keep our frequency high and help others to keep their frequency high. You know, what good is getting mad at the troll on social media, right? That's not doing anything for anyone other than making you feel like crap and preventing you from that sovereign energy that is where you're gonna feel good and have more potent energy to, I don't want to say fight back, because it's not about that per se, but to help create change in whatever way is authentic to you. So emotions. And then on the mental side of it, the thoughts repeating in your head. Are they yours or are they not yours? When the thoughts that are, you can't do that, you're not good enough, is that truly yours? Or is there maybe a cord that needs to be removed? Is there a hook from somebody, right? So start to discern these things. And so I'm just quickly lay out, this is not intended to be a big, long kind of teaching experience here. And I do have, many, many podcasts on these subjects. But the things that are big, this is a time of fuckery, psychic attacks, lower frequency things. So it is like, work within yourself. Keep your blind, like, don't worry so much about what that practitioner is doing or that friend is doing on their journey. Really start to note and also be very discerning on who you let into your energy. So cords, like I said, your typical everyday cords is like that example with the cashier. We have negative cords, kind of lower frequency cords that are like, I dated a narcissist and we are no longer together, but I'm still hear their voice, or I'm still having thoughts that were fed by them of like, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or I need so-and-so, right? Those are cords. That's not your energy, and they are receiving that energy from you. There are hooks that I'm seeing, a big influx of lately. I see themes all the time, and hooks I'm seeing a lot of, and hooks are that they're kind of placed most of the time unintentionally from one person to another with the energy of making the recipient almost like need you. It's like that, the saying of like, oh, you're hooked. And so on the receiving end, it leaves you with that feeling of, I need that person. I need that person's validation. I need that person to like me. It creates almost a codependence, but it's one way, kind of, because usually the person giving the hook, it's usually out of their own kind of insecurities. So what I see a lot is, especially with practitioners, is a healer or a teacher, this is their livelihood, or maybe they're just insecure. So they hook their students or their clients unintentionally. They might be beautiful healers or amazingly wise teachers, but they have these hooks in these people because it's either feeding, their, I'm good enough. If these people keep coming back to me, I'm good enough. I'm worthy. Or it's, I have to put food on the table for my family, and so I need people to need me. And I see this a lot. This is, a lot of, we're never done healing. So I don't want to say like unhealed versus healed, but you can get a feel when a healer or a teacher, especially, people are talking them up. They're so good. They're all this, but something feels off. They might be a beautiful healer and know exactly what they're doing. And they might be a teacher and all their information is resonant, but you don't want to connect with them, or something in you feels like a distance needs to be there, and there might be some of those intentions underneath. And so just be aware, cords and hooks, very, very prevalent. And then things like energetic parasites and dark entities that they feed off of this low frequency energy, and they can really easily come into your field when we're creating energetic connections with people, especially when we're, letting people connect deeply into our energy and they're not doing their energetic hygiene. We call them energetic STDs, where a practitioner doesn't know how to clear themselves properly, or doesn't do their proper checks, and maybe they connected to 5 people that day, to healing, a reading, whatever, and they're not clearing themselves. So now, if you're number 5, now you're feeling some of the baggage of that first client and that second client and that third client, because every time that someone connects to you energetically for a reading or a healing, you're creating this like open portal in the energy. And if someone's not discerning enough to know what's taking place, things can swap back and forth, and practitioners pick up stuff and then they spread them to other people. And this happens all the time. And so this is, again, be aware. Listen to your gut. This is a test of your intuition. Your spidey sense is going off. You don't necessarily have to know what feels off. And it doesn't mean the person is bad. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't connect with them ever. It just means something right now isn't feeling right, so I'm going to trust that. So your quick little how to help with this discernment factor and to keeping your energy sovereign and clear. Sink into your heart. The heart is the key here. Where the heart is the theme of this year. Sink into your heart chakra, into your heart space. Go in deep, 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 deep into your heart and into your body. And then ground really good, right? Be very present, like notice your fingers, your toes, right? That kind of stuff that is like, okay, I'm really in my body. I'm really, really aware. And then call in all of your bodies. Your emotional body, your mental body, your energetic body, your etheric body, your heart body, and your celestial body. Call them in. I have a free 15-minute healing that does that for you. So you can just pop in some earbuds and just let it happen. You don't even have to do anything. Then you know everything that is yours is in you. And that is a beauty, and you're grounded and you're present and you're leading from your heart. Your heart is your ultimate discernment detector. It doesn't require anything else. Your heart does not lie. Nothing can fuck with your heart. Your heart is you and yours. So once you do all that, you bring all of your parts in. Now you are whole. Right? Then, what is it? Now, whatever this is that we're trying to discern, is this mine or is this external? What needs to be released? If you're feeling an emotion and it's yours, now feel it and release it and then repair your aura. Or if there's a cord, remove it, patch the hole in your aura where it came out of, and clear it all out. When you're in that space, that is when you're going to be able to discern, this is not me. This is something poking the bear. This is something trying to get a rise out of me. This is a cord. This is a hook. Why do I feel so attached to this person? Because there's a hook. Why do I keep repeating these thoughts in my head even though I've done all of the mindset work and healing and I don't really feel like I subscribe to this anymore? It's a cord. Right? Get rid of the outside noise. We need to really develop our own baseline. We need to know what our energy is, because you don't know what is you. You don't know what it feels like to be in your energy completely, all of the parts of you. How do you know if something external is messing with you? We need to figure out our baseline. That is your top tier thing for discernment. How do you know what's not yours if you don't know what's yours? How do you know what's not you if you don't know what's you? So find your baseline, get to you, clear out the noise, these attachments, these cords, these parasites, these entities, all of these things that are distracting you from the journey of inside of yourself. Outside noise is a distraction right now. It's not serving you. Reflection, internal experience and purging and clearing, and what winter is meant to be. It's that hibernation internal phase, and then spring you're going to be reborn and you're going to be ready to stand in your power in a way that you never have before, because that is what the world needs. That is what you're ready to do. You've done everything to lead up to this point. Don't fall off at the last minute. Things do tend to poke harder when you're this close, so don't give up when you're this close. All right? Mwah. Love you.